The market is blowing up, and it's getting near impossible to find disruptive companies that aren't already overbought. In this video, I'll show you how to find the undiscovered penny stocks changing our daily lives. I'll show you how to narrow your list of penny stocks and a two-step process for quick analysis. Then I'm going to reveal 5 disruptive penny stocks that you need to be watching right now. We're talking best penny stocks to watch today on Let's Talk Money. Hey Bowtie Nation, Joseph Hogue here with the Let's Talk Money channel. I want to send a special shout out to all you out there in the nation. Thank you for spending a part of your day to be here. If you're not part of that community yet, just click that little red subscribe button. It's free and you'll never miss an episode. Nation, the very best companies are those that can disrupt their market, steal market share, and use that first mover's advantage to produce those triple-digit returns for their investors. The problem is, lately most of those disruptive companies are already hugely popular stocks and even more overpriced. Palantir Technologies didn't even issue shares until it was a $15 billion company and is now trading for 68 times its annual sales. Even on that kind of disruptive growth, the company would need to grow its sales by 3,400% to bring its valuation down to the average for S&P 500 companies. And it's the same with virtually every new disruptive company you see. Snowflake issued shares, went IPO as a $70 billion company. Unity Software was a $20 billion company before investors could buy anything. Now, sure, the company is expected to double its revenue in the 3 years to 2023, but it's already trading for 25 times those expected sales. The only chance you have as an investor at finding this kind of disruptive growth without paying an arm and leg for it is in those penny stocks nobody's watching yet. Small cap companies with an edge and flying under Wall Street's radar. In this video, I'll show you how to find those disruptive penny stock companies and how to analyze these so you're only investing in the best stocks. Then I'll reveal those 5 game-changing penny stocks to watch for your portfolio. Before we get started though, I want to throw this out to the community. What do you think is going to be the most disruptive technology or change over the next 10 years? So scroll down and tell us in the comments below, what are you watching in those penny stocks to get ahead of that next big trend? Now, I use 2 strategies to find those undiscovered penny stocks to buy. First, I'll start with a simple stock screener, and I'm looking for companies under about a $250 million market cap. Now, that might not seem like a penny stock company, but it's minuscule compared to the average large cap company at over $10 billion. Now, I'm also looking for strong sales growth. The company doesn't have to be profitable yet, and most of these penny stocks won't be, but you want to see that sales growth as proof of competitive advantage, that this new upstart has that competitive advantage, that product that can allow it to steal market share from those established players. Now, that other method to find penny stocks to buy, and this is something you can do in any investing theme, is to mine ETF funds for their ideas. For example, the Invesco S&P Small Cap Information Technology ETF, that's ticker PSCT, invests in 74 tech stocks of small and mid-cap companies. Now, every ETF is going to have a portfolio or a holdings link, and you just click here and you can see every stock held in that theme to start your research. Now, analyzing these companies comes down to finding that competitive advantage and the market large enough to really drive that sales growth. And this is where it helps to really understand an industry or even a sector of the economy. Spend some time to understand that standard business model and the range of products in an industry, so when a disruptive product does come along, you're going to be the first to recognize it. But then having a great product isn't enough if there's no one to buy it. You also want to look for that large addressable market. Nation, very few companies are ever going to control more than 5 or 15% of their total market. You've got outliers like Google or Amazon, but most companies would kill to have even 5% of the total market sales for their industry. And that means if you want that $100 million company to 10x your money someday, grow to that $1 billion market cap or higher, it better have a 10 or a $20 billion market where it can grab that market share and just grow into it. So using this process for finding and then analyzing those penny stocks, you're going to narrow down your list to just a handful of stocks that you can research further. For that, I've found 5 stocks to watch right now. First here is NEXE Innovations, ticker NEXNF here in the US market, or NEXE on the Canadian exchange. Now, the company is a $168 million newly commercial maker of biodegradable coffee pods, and while coffee pods might not sound like a growth market, coffee consumption is a $102 billion industry, and the single-use capsule industry alone is 50+ billion units annual market, expected to reach nearly $30 billion in sales by 2025. Now, the market is there. The US at-home market alone is $15.6 billion and growing 5% a year, And NEXE Innovations is adding that ESG component to disrupt the industry. Traditional coffee pods take up to 500 years to decompose, and even those soft bottom pods can take 2 years and cause plant toxicity. NEXE pods are designed to completely decompose in just 35 days with no toxicity. The company just had its IPO about a month ago, so not a lot of financial data here to go on, but it has a funded capacity and production in place to reach 220 million pods annually by the end of the year. NEXE has a $14 million from a recent financing round and recently doubled its operating footprint with a plant expansion. Definitely one to check out here, so I'm going to leave a link to the investor presentation in the description below. Next here is Resonant Inc., ticker RESN, a $335 million RF filter foundry company with strong sales already. The company has designed its X-Bar filter that is becoming the leading solution for high-frequency 5G applications and is a supplier to the world's largest RF filter manufacturer. Sales of $9.4 million expected this year are triple the 2020 revenue of $3.2 million, and the one strategic partner here could represent a $100 million annual market opportunity alone. The company ramped up to 4.1 million units in the most recent quarter. That's a 163% increase from the prior year. Resonant is working on that foundry business model, so it's going to be a critical component in the supply chain for 5G RF filters, a market that's going to explode here over the next few years. $164 million Avenger, ticker AVGR, is a great penny stock in the healthcare market, one of my favorite sectors for this year. The company developed an image-guided occlusion crossing system for intravascular imaging called the Tiger Eye, along with several other products in development. Now, this system is designed for patients with peripheral artery disease, a 20 million person market in the US alone, with an estimated $500 million spent on 200,000 procedures annually. The company launched its Tiger Eye in the US and Germany last quarter, with plans to expand its US release this year. Now, revenue was posting high double-digit growth before the pandemic and should bounce back to that pace pretty soon. This year's sales are expected to top $11.4 million for 34% growth over last year and just keep building from there. Play AGS, ticker AGS, was up 80% from our August recommendation and is still higher by 33%. And a great second opportunity to get back in. The $194 million electronics provider for the gambling industry has obviously taken it hard over the last year, but the market looks to be rebounding pretty fast. AGS estimates that nearly 15,000 of its sold products, about 87% of the machines, were active by the end of the third quarter. Now, the average selling price in the Q3 was flat year over year, which is actually a good sign that it can hold up that price even against the lower demand. The company has over $113 million in available liquidity through its cash and a loan revolver, so plenty of that financial flexibility to survive. Sales this year are expected to rebound 30% to $217 million from just $167 million last year. Fortress Biotech, ticker FBIO, is another penny stock that I've been watching lately. The $326 million biotech has most of its established products in dermatology, but a strong pipeline in products across oncology, gene therapies, and rare diseases as well. The company already has 5 commercial products, which is rare for a small biotech, but these are driving $43 million in annual sales, while Fortress develops the rest of that pipeline. Revenue increased 17% over the last year, and the dermatology segment, its largest producer, is growing sales at a 29% pace over 2019. The company has 2 candidates in phase 3 trials with potential revenue of $790 million from tramadol alone. And some other standouts here: a $175 million market opportunity on CUTX candidate for Menkes disease, and 2 others with sales potential in the hundreds of millions of dollars. The pipeline is there, and the company has over $218 million in balance sheet cash. That's against just $55 million in debt, so plenty of that cash survivability here for that development. Click on the video to the right for the top 5 penny stocks I'm watching for 2021 for those triple-digit returns. Don't forget to join the Let's Talk Money community by tapping that subscribe button and clicking the bell notification.